Welcome back to the discussion on volunteerism. We have discussed what is volunteerism basically. Now let us come to the principles and perspectives. What is prospective? You must check a dictionary or check in your mobile what is prospective. Prospective is, now the same thing is looked differently by different people. Now when same thing is looked at differently, is interpreted differently, we say, hey, it is a matter of perspective. Now I will give you an example from Ramayana to understand what is a perspective. Now when Rama marries Sita and he goes out and Ravana takes away Sita and all that happens and Rama comes back to Ajodhya. Now Sita is the queen, the Maharani of Lord Rama, and then some people gossip about her and Rama sends her away from the palace. She goes to Valmiki's ashram. Now some people will say Rama did the right thing. Why? Because the queen must not be suspected by people. Because he is the ideal Purusha, he is a good king, he must not allow anybody to come under doubt, and particularly the queen should not come under doubt. Many people will say, no, this was not correct. When he knew that Sita is innocent, he had conducted a Agni Parikha at Lanka before getting her back, why should he banish her? Now this is a perspective. Incident is same, but different people look at the same incident differently. That is what we call perspective, how you view it. So, what is the principles of volunteerism and how we view it, this needs to be discussed. Now, we are going to do that part. The principles and perspectives involved in volunteerism. Volunteer must benefit the community and the volunteer. I have been telling you right from the beginning, it is beneficial for both. It is beneficial to you, the volunteer, and to the community, to the society, to the family or whatever it is. If it only benefits you, it does not benefit anybody else, it cannot be volunteerism, it is for your benefit you are doing it. Okay? Now, if it benefits both, then it is volunteerism. Volunteers' works mostly is unpaid, not necessarily always unpaid. Sometimes some minimum payment is made. Now you see at Bhubaneswar or at Cuttack or in your nearest city where you live or district headquarters, the college students come to help the traffic police in control of the vehicles and all that traffic. They help the traffic police as volunteers. Now they may work for 5-6 hours and government pays them only 100 rupees. Now if they were regular constables, even if they were home guards, they would be paid 300 rupees minimum wage. They are not given that. It is just a token amount. Sometime you go and join the NCC, Now when you join the NCC, on Sunday parade is done, you are given little tiffin. You are not given money, you are just given little tiffin. Similarly, suppose there is a NSS camp, you go to a village, clean a road or do something for the village pond or take a survey, what happens? The college has organized for a modest lunch, bhato dalma, simple rice and dalma. So, it is not payment, it is some kind of a minimum help which sometimes the government does or others too. Okay. Similarly, when there is a cyclone and suppose in your street the electric pole is uprooted and people come from the electricity board or from some other company and work to set things right, you are living in that street, all of you said, "Arey bhai, these people have come to help us, let us give them something, let us give them water, let us give them tiffin sometime." Okay. So, that is not payment. So, when volunteers work is mostly unpaid, and whatever little payment sometime is made is not a wage, It is not a wage, it is not full wage, some minimum help may be given. So, that is what we mean volunteers work is mostly unpaid. Volunteering is always a matter of choice. If you decide, you choose, you are not bound to do it. So, we have already explained this. Volunteering is a legitimate way in which citizens can participate in the activities of their community. I have been trying to tell you when we discuss the constitutional values, this participatory mechanism, public spiritedness. Now, what is this public spiritedness? Now, suppose at Cuttack, you are living in Cuttack and during Dasara, there is, the people say that people can volunteer for crowd management, college students come forward. Suppose there is a train accident and several people have been injured and a hospital says it requests people of that community, please come and donate blood to save lives. So, many people rush. So, what is it? It is participating in the activity of the community. It is participatory volunteerism. So, once you start participating in the community free of cost, then what happens is that you feel that you are a part of the community. Volunteerism as a participatory citizenry or as a citizen, you are participating in the life of the community. Now, this is a very important component and you must know why should we participate, when to participate and all that. So, volunteering is a legitimate way in which citizens can participate in the activities of their community. Volunteering is a vehicle for individual or groups to address human, environmental and social needs. Now, sometime for today, environment is a big concern, it is a huge concern. Now, you are littering plastic everywhere, you are littering plastic everywhere. I was giving you an example how the people led by Mr. Vijay Patnaik, former Chief Secretary of Odisha and Professor Ashok Das, former Vice Chancellor of Utkal University, they periodically come to Utkal University to make it plastic free. Many students join with them, many alumni join with them, and what they do? They pick up plastic wherever it is lying in particular area of the campus, they clean up. What are you doing? You are addressing the environmental issue. You are addressing the environmental issue. So, environment is the biggest concern today and it demands voluntary action from all of us, from many of us. And you know, there are examples where people have cleaned up beach at Puri. Periodically we find volunteers come to the Puri beach and they clean up the beach. For what? For environmental friendliness, for protecting the environment. Or suppose somebody is burning down something, you go and prevent it. So, you are working for the environment. And so, we address human issues, we address social needs, we also address the environmental needs. So, volunteer is a mechanism, is a vehicle, is a mechanism for these things. Volunteering is an activity performed in the not for profit sector only. By volunteerism, if you are getting any profit out of it, then it cannot be volunteerism. Not for profit. I was giving you the example of corporate social responsibility and how sometime it is done, it is linked still with the profit. So, not for profit, either for yourself or for anybody else. So, not for profit organization. Sometime today, after 2013, the Company Act of 1956 or 57 has been completely replaced by a new Company Act. Today, you can form a company not for profit. Normally, companies are formed for profit, for making business, for profit. But today, the law in India and in most other developed countries, there is a law that you can establish companies which is devoted to not for profit. Earlier, only trusts were working, but today there are also companies which is working not for profit. So, that is what is. If they enjoy get some surplus which they do not call profit, that surplus will not be taken to by the people who have invested money in it. It will be plowed back into the company. It will be put back into the company. So, that is a company not for profit. So, this not for profit is the key to volunteerism, and volunteering is not a substitute for paid work. I was telling you, you go and help the traffic police, government may give you 100 rupees, but can you do without a traffic police? Can the volunteers alone manage the streets of Bhubaneswar? No. Suppose we say Rath Yatra, we will say that no police will do crowd control and volunteers will do it. It may not be possible. It is not possible in fact. So, please remember, volunteerism does not replace the paid worker. So, if you are volunteering, you are not threatening anybody's job. You are actually assisting the police, making the policing more effective. It is not that because there are volunteers, there will be no, suppose Doctors Without Borders, I was giving you the example, they will come and help, but your own nurses are required, your own doctors in the society are required. You can't say that we will not have doctors, we will call the Doctors Without Borders. No, no, the work is gigantic. So, it does not replace the paid workers. Now, there is a program which is called Teach India. There is a huge program which began in United States of America, which is called Teach America. Even in India, Times of India group and others have, some industries have started Teach India group. So, what happens? A college student, so even an engineering student who can easily get a job, who has got a job also sometime, he is asked to come and be a teacher for a small amount, not full salary. Why? Because there is a dearth of teachers in most of the countries. So, what happens is that these young students are called, that you take an internship, you get some little money just to buy food and live somewhere, and not to spend from your pocket, but you live there and start teaching. They do not work indefinitely, they work for say 1 year only. After that they go and join their own job. Sometimes we say on Sundays people come and do that. So, nowhere the paid workers are replaced. Paid workers need not be replaced, and you cannot manage without paid workers. Without policing, you cannot do policing by volunteering. Without regular doctors and nursings, you cannot do, say only if some volunteer comes, he can only give first aid, little medical help he can make, but a doctor cannot be replaced. Similarly, regular teachers in the schools and colleges cannot be replaced, you require them. Volunteer must be aware of and respect the rights, dignity and culture of others. This is another point. What is? You must respect dignity. Suppose you are helping somebody, does not mean that you will look down upon him. You suppose somebody comes and begs, you may give some help for something, but you cannot look down upon a beggar. If you compromise his self-respect, he will not like to take your help. He will not like to take your help. It is not good to disrespect anybody. We have already discussed in the constitutional values dignity, individual dignity, how dignity is a very important component. Respect for others is a very important component of citizenship. So, volunteerism also respects that you must give respect to everybody. सामान्य भाव में कही रखे प्रथम हूँ जे प्रस्पेक्टिव कथा, प्रस्पेक्टिव माने चिंताधारा, भिन्न भिन्न चिंताधारा गोटे कथा को भिन्न भिन्न दृष्टिकोण देखा कथा. मु कहूली इंग्राजी रे जे किपरि सीता को कई कई रास्ता घाट रे धोबा दु चार जन कथा हेले बोले रामचंद्र तांको राज्य विताड़ित कर देकी वाल्मीकि आश्रम को पठे. तो रामचंद्र ठीक कले. कई कई कहे जे नाई आज्ञा रजा स्त्री संदेह मुक्त रहा कथा, महाराणी संदेह मुक्त रहा कथा, तेणु रामचंद्र निजर व्यक्तिगत स्वार्थ को जलांजलि दे स्त्री को वाल्मीकि आश्रम को पठेदे. आउ कई कई कहे एमती उड़ा कथार शुणा कथार स्त्री को छाड़ीदवा स्त्री को विताड़ित करदेवा राजनहर ये बहुत अन्यायर कथा बा सेमती आउ गोटे गप कह जाए जमी बाली आ सुग्रीव कथार जे बाली को बाली पचारा राम को जे मत कहीं मारिल तुम कई कई कहे रामचंद्र तो बाली सहित किसी कली संपर्क नाला सी कहीं मारे से ठीक है कई कई कहे जे बाली बाहा पाप थिला तार सान भाई को न बुझी न सुझुन कि विताड़ित करदेला है सान भाईर स्त्री को नहीं गला इत्यादि इत्यादि कथा तेणु रामचंद्र ताको मारिबाटा ठीक है ये जो दी प्रकार चिंताधारा प्रस्पेक्टिव ताकू कह जाए प्रस्पेक्टिव इंग्राजी रे तेणु वॉलंटियरिज्म कथा बुझा हेले प्रस्पेक्टिव कथा अनेक समय बुझा हुए एवं ताकू टे प्रश्न करिया हुए प्रकृत में ये सेवा कार्य करागला या पछरे मतलब कौन अच्छी एवं से विषय बेले बेले वाद विवाद देखा जाए एवं वॉलंटियर जी हम ताकू किसी पैसा मिलबनी पैसा मिलवा काम को वॉलंटियरिज्म कहीहबनी किंतु अनपेड वर्क हेले मध्य मु कहूଥିଲି जे ट्रैफिक पुलिस मान जो साहाय्य कर सरकार 100 टंका लेखा दौरान कि एनसीसी पिला रविवार दिन टी जलखिया मिलूँ कि एनएसएस पिला माने जो काम कर जो गाँव में सफाई फफाई कर कॉलेज तरफ एवं एनएसएस तरफ भात डालमा खंडे खाइबा को मिलूँ इत्यादि इत्यादि कथा कहते सेटा को पेड वर्क बोली कहबनी ता है बिना पारिश्रमिक कार्यहारा पूरा परिश्रम मूल्य दिगला से पारिश्रमिक होगला ये टे सामान्य साहाय्य को पारिश्रमिक बोली धरा जाए एवं वॉलंटियरिज्म टा सब बड़े चॉइस कथा जदि तुमको बाध्यबाधकता करा कौन कथा करने सेटा को आउ स्व इच्छा कहुनी एवं एथेर कौन हुए ये जो गोटे अंशग्रहण कर सुजोग आने जो कम्युनिटी रे बा जो तुम समाज रोच जो अंचल रोच बा जो अंचल को तुम जाइच सेठी जो कम्युनिटी अच्छी से कम्युनिटी रे तुम्हें गोटे से अंशग्रहण कर तुम अंचल लोक मान सहित मिसिकी तुम अंशग्रहण कर ट्रैफिक कंट्रोल हो रथ यात्रा समय हो अन्य समय हो वॉलंटियरिज्मटा सबु बेले कौन गोटे आनी दिए सुजोग जे मु किपरि मोर समाज रे अंशग्रहण करी ये अंशग्रहण करवा कथाटा बहुत बड़ कथा ये अंशग्रहण कले कौन हम ना तुमर लगाव आसो देशपाई लगाव आसो अनेक समय मानव समाज पाई लगाव भी आसो एवं तुम अंचल लोक मान सहित समाज सहित गोटे लगाव आसो एवं बारंबार कहूँ जड़े जदि भल नागरिक हो जनकर जदि देशभक्ति अच्छी देशप्रीति अच्छी मनीष समाज को सी जदि भल पाए ताहले से अंशग्रहण कर कौन अंशग्रहण कर जहाँ समस्तंकर हितरे अच्छी बा जो कार्य आज रथ यात्रा हो कि काली की ईद हो पारे आउ किसी भी हो पारे फुटबॉल मैच हो पारे से अंशग्रहण कर वॉलंटियरिज्म गोटे विराट सुजोग आनी दिए एवं अनेक समय परिवेश को रक्षा कर साहाय्य करे एवं कौन से लाभ लक्ष्य रखिक करा जाएनी एवं आमे किसी वॉलंटियरिज्म करिचे बोलिक जी दरमा पाई अच्छी ता चाकरीटा चली से कथा भावटा भूल जे आमर पिला माने समस्ते ट्रैफिक कंट्रोल करेंगे आ भुवनेश्वर ट्रैफिक पुलिस रही दिल्ली में आउ ट्रैफिक पुलिस रखा संभाला पड़ो ना संभाला पड़ो तेणु जे पारिश्रमिक पाई चाकरी करिछि कार्य करुच्ची तार जो दक्षता वॉलंटियर पाखे से दक्षता न थाई पारे तांको पाखे एते समय न थाई पारे से साहाय्य करिवे तार अर्थ नुह जे तांकू बाहर कर देके वॉलंटियर द्वारा चलो ना सेमती हो पार तेणु ये कौन से लोकर चाकरी नब नहीं यही सब कथा कहगला सो नाउ लेट अस आंसर द क्वेश्चन हु इज ए वॉलंटियर इज ए प्रोफेशनल और ए नॉन प्रोफेशनल पर्सन who willingly spares his or time effort for others. He may be a professional, he may not be a professional. Suppose you are a B.Ed student, you have completed your B.Ed, now you are doing M.Ed, or you are a school teacher already. Now you are going and teaching in a slum to the students who are not going to school. So what is happening? You are a professional, you are already a teacher, you are trained to teach. In that case, you are a professional. But suppose I am reading in a college and I go and teach. I am not a professional. I do not know, I have not learned how to teach. I have not studied how to teach. I do not have a B.Ed degree. So you can be a professional, you may not be a professional. I know a group of people at Bhubaneswar, I can even name Dr. Shiva Mahapatra, which is a great doctor. So, what happens is that every Sunday she goes to her village and sits in a school or sits in the temple of the village, and whoever comes, she treats her. If it is within her capacity, she treats her, otherwise tells him or her that you go to this doctor in Cuttack or in Bhubaneswar. She writes a reference for them and requests the other doctor, please look at this case. See, he or she is my village person. Now she is a professional, she is a doctor, and she is helping her own village people, not for money, not for profit, but a professional. So that is what is. Sometime we will lend our professionalism, sometime we will lend our training, our expertise for, so that he or she is a volunteer. They are committed the goals and principles of selfless service or social work. They are selfish, they are not selfless, they are selfless people. So they have altruism, that you feel good by doing good to others. They are committed to the goals and principles of selfless service or social work. They neither expect nor receive any remuneration for their work. As a consequence of his or her work, emotional satisfaction, moral credit are always accrued to the volunteer. That is the goal. The volunteer ultimately draws a lot of satisfaction, emotional satisfaction. He or she feels good. So that is what is necessary. Mother Teresa, one who like a true mother cared for the hungry, the naked, the homeless, the crippled, the blind, the lepers, the unwanted, the unloved and uncared for without asking for anything in return. In a sense, she was the ultimate volunteer, the universal mother. You must have heard the story of Mother Teresa. She is no more. She is a Nobel laureate from India. She was born in Albania and she had joined the Catholic Christian mission and the church as a nun. Now she came to Calcutta. She came to Calcutta, and once she came to Calcutta, she found that there are many street children, there are many lepers, there are many people in Calcutta who are suffering. And she established this great organization, Mission of Charity. And there she ran old age home, she ran homes for the children, orphans, so many other people. She herself treated the lepers, she did the bandage, she loved the people like a mother. So, ultimately her service to mankind was recognized and she was given a Nobel Prize. Though she was born in Albania, she had accepted, she had become an Indian, she was an Indian citizen. She was an Indian citizen, and as a citizen of India, she had done great work, she was offered so many awards, and ultimately she got Nobel Prize for Peace. Now she was popularly called, even today, even after her death, she is called Mother Teresa. She was the universal mother, particularly for the people of Calcutta. Everybody addressed her mother. So you understand what kind of feeling people had for her. She was loved all over the world for the social service she did in Calcutta. Missionaries of Charity. Now, the question before you is that all our mothers, they also work for their children. Your mother also works for you, your brothers and sisters. Does she get any money? Does your father pays any money for her? It is all volunteer, is it not? She is not paid, she is doing out of her own wish. Now, she is your mother. Now, is she same as Mother Teresa? Think of perspective, how it can be viewed differently. Now, in the textbook this is there, it is asked, we are asked, can you then call her our mothers, volunteers in the family of universe? Line up your reasons for and against. What can we for? That she can be equated with Mother Teresa, or she can be, because you will say, even when my friend comes, not only my mother gives me food, but whenever my friend comes, mother will not leave my friend without feeding him or her. Now, feeding me may be her responsibility because I am her child. But when my friend comes and she feeds him, is it not charity? Is it not a great work? Possibly it is a great work. It is also true that your mother does not get paid. It is unpaid work. It is not paid. Your father does not pay her. She may be working, even then she feeds you, and without her you cannot become an adult. So, her contribution is great, but can you equate? The same with Mother Teresa. Now you decide the perspective. I will not take side. Sometimes there may be reasons to support her, there may be reasons for not equating her. Okay. Then let us come, why should we volunteer? Why should we? They provide enthusiasm, additional resource, genuine interest, many times specialized skill set not available otherwise. Now, before I take up this, why should we help somebody else? That is the question. I will give you a very interesting story. You must have heard the great name of Ramakrishna Paramahansa, the guru of Swami Vivekananda. It is said that while he was bathing in Ganga, Dakshineshwar Kali temple is on the banks of river Ganga at Calcutta. So, when he was taking a bath, all these hugli and all that comes out of the Ganga. So, whatever it is, when he was taking bath, what happens is that there was a small child and a mother, they were also taking bath. For some reason the mother was angry and slapped the child, and the child started crying, and on his cheeks the fingers print came up on his cheeks. The slap was so strong that he got impression of the mother's hand and started crying bitterly. And what happened? Ramakrishna Paramahansa also felt this slap so strongly that the fingerprint of the mother also appeared on his cheek. Now, what is that? It is like that he feels the pain of the child on his own cheek. Many people will sympathize with the child. No, mother should not have bitten, the child is crying. After all, he is a child. How can he understand everything? How do you expect behavior of an adult? Mother should not beat a child and all that. That is sympathy. But what is Ramakrishna Paramahansa's reaction? Ramakrishna Paramahansa's reaction is empathy. It is little higher than sympathy. It is deeper than sympathy. How is it deeper? Because you feel the pain of others in your own body. That is empathy. Now, this sympathy and empathy are very important characteristics of life. You cannot help anybody, you cannot actually help yourself even if you do not feel the pleasure and pain of others. It is very rightly said, when pleasure is distributed, it is doubled, and when pain is distributed, it is halved. If your friend is in pain, you can discuss with him, you can share his pain, then what will happen? His pain will come down, half. It will go away by half. Now, he has succeeded, some good thing has happened to him, you congratulate him, you celebrate along with his celebration, then his happiness is doubled. So, we say that happiness can be doubled by sharing it, pain can be halved by sharing it also. ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଆମେ ଆଲୋଚନା କରୁଛେ ଯେ ଆମେ କାହିଁକି ସ୍ୱେଚ୍ଛାସେବା ସ୍ୱଇଚ୍ଛାରେ ସମାଜ ସେବା କରିବା, ସ୍ୱଇଚ୍ଛାରେ ସମାଜ ସେବା କାହିଁକି କରିବା। ଏଥିରେ ଗୋଟାଏ କଥା ହେଉଛି ଯେ ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ଗପ କହୁଥିଲି, ରାମକୃଷ୍ଣ ପରମହଂସ ଯିଏକି ସ୍ୱାମୀ ବିବେକାନନ୍ଦଙ୍କର ଗୁରୁ ଥିଲେ, ସେ ଥରେ ଗଙ୍ଗା ନଦୀ କୂଳରେ ଗାଧୋଉଥିଲେ, ତାଙ୍କର କିଛି ଭକ୍ତଙ୍କ ଗହଣରେ ଗାଧୋଉଥିଲେ। ଏହି ସମୟରେ ଗଙ୍ଗା ନଦୀ କୂଳରେ ଜଣେ ମା ଆଉ ତାର ଛୁଆ ପୁଅ କି ଝିଅ ଯାହା ହେଉ ସିଏ ଗାଧୋଉଥିଲା। କୌଣସି କାରଣରୁ ମା ରାଗି ଯାଇକି ପିଲାକୁ ଚଟକଣାଟେ ପକାଇଲେ। ଚଟକଣାଟା ପକାଇବାରୁ ସେ କାନ୍ଦିବାକୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲା ଏବଂ ତାର 5 ଆଙ୍ଗୁଳିର ଚିହ୍ନ ସେ ପିଲାର ଗାଲରେ ପଡ଼ିଗଲା, ଲାଲ ହୋଇଗଲା ଗାଲ। बुझल कि हठात देखला बेलू बहुत लोक कहले अरे माटा कौन एमती रागिकी कौन पिलाटा को बाड़ेदेले हम छोट पिलाटा बुझुनी ताको बुझेब ना आउ थरक जगह 5 थर बुझेब मारे केमती हम किंतु आश्चर्य कथा हूँ रामकृष्ण परमहंस गाल से 5 आंगुलीर चिन्ह जो पिलार गाल में पड़ा ताहा मध्य रामकृष्ण परमहंस गाल में देखागला ये कौन सहानुभूति नुह सहानुभूति हूँ जे अन्यर दुखरे आहा बोली कहवा ताकू टिके सहानुभूति जनइबा ये हूँ तार अनुभूति निजे अनुभव करवा ताकू इंग्राजी रे कहते एम्पैथी से तार दुख को निजे अनुभव करवा अन्यर सुख को निजे अनुभव करवा अन्यर दुख को निजे अनुभव करवा हूँ सहानुभूति ठारू आउ टिके आगुआ कथा तेणु एइथपई कुआ हुए जेतोले आमे खुशीटा को बांटू खुशी द्विगुणा हो जाए आउ जो दुख को बांटू कष्ट को बांटू कष्ट अधा हो जाए तुमर जदि सांग किसी गोटे विपद पड़ी तार गोटे भारी कष्ट होती कौन होती से ऑपरेशन होती तुम हॉस्पिटल रे जाके बसिल ता पाखरे हाँ तार दुख को टिके बांटी नेल ताले तार दुख कमिगला आउ जदि तार खुशी होती तुम जो ता सहित खुशी बांटिल से सुख द्विगुण हो गला जनकर पिला है आम साई पड़िशारे आम सब खुशी बनइले तार आज 21 आउची आम खुशी बनाऊँ खुशी बढ़ीगला ता बाप माँ खुशी होती तुम भी खुशी हो खुशी द्विगुणा हो गला धर क्या घर जन किए मरीगला तुम्हें जाकि पहुँचल तांको दुखरे दुखी हेल खाली लोक देखाणिया हेनी प्रकृत भाव में जब तुम दुखी हेल कौन है ता दुखटा उणा हो गला ता दुखटा अधा हो गला तेणु खुशी बांटिले खुशी बढ़े दुख बांटिले दुख कमी जाए आसंता क्लास रे आगको फेर जिबा धन्यवाद।